And welcome back to News Desk. We still have maybe a half an hour to go, and we want to use that half an hour to discuss what Francis Mtalaki was alluding to earlier, the disagreements that have just come up with regard to the some sort of reforms that the Ministry of Education together with the TSC are fronting or proposing. Of course, there have been sharp reactions from the officials from NAT together with the head teachers who are saying that probably we're not ready for some of the changes that the ministry is agitating for. All right, let me introduce my guest. Let me introduce my guest here in studio, Amos Kaburu. He is a Senior Programs Officer at Twaweza. Thank you for your time, Amos.
Thank you.
And during the break, we were just discussing and just wondering, where did the disagreements come from? You know, the whole year we've been having quite a smooth working between the ministry and the teachers. We've seen, you know, the teachers coming out to support the kind of changes that the ministry is bringing forth. But all of a sudden, they're like, no. Where do you think this is coming from?
Yeah, thanks, Betty. All along, those of us in the sector have argued that the sector required several reforms. And it's not lost that there's been a lot of discussions around the curriculum that it seems to have kind of sent everything to the back room. But it is true that there are serious issues within the sector that need to be dealt with. However, I object to the way the ministry and the commission are handling these particular reforms. They are well-intentioned, but I think that the implementation of them will throw everything into jeopardy if not handled very, very well. And even the delicate project that we have at hand, which is implementation of the new curriculum, is likely to suffer in the process of when we get lost into chasing after unnecessary things in the way in which we are trying to do them.
All right. And we'll get into the exact specifics that the teachers, head teachers are having a problem with. But you know, someone would wonder, you mean there's no consultation that has been happening between the ministry and the teachers union or the teachers themselves? Because this feels like it has come as a surprise to the head teachers, all these things that the ministry is doing or has been doing.
That's true. Actually, I think now the ministry is really stretching its reform approach, which has been very radical, and that what you would call snap reaction, snap decisions that it has always been doing, particularly taking a little bit the credit around management of examinations a little bit too far, even in terms of handling some of these delicate issues. Because it's for a fact that it's serious when critical stakeholders in the sector, such as head teachers, learn of these changes over the media. Because what would be so difficult in terms of engaging them, you've got already institutions that are put in place. There is KEPSHA, there is KESHA, there is KNUT, there is KUPED, the Kenya Publishers Association, there is the Kenya Private Schools Association. There are many stakeholders within the sector. There are civil societies that you could a little bit try to engage before making some of these decisions. But when the commission wakes up, in fact, you are hijacking a different fora which is not yours, because the heads were meeting for their annual conference. This is not a conference organized by the Teacher Service Commission. So when you are invited to speak and then you use the platform of the curve in another 2 minutes to hit a hard-hitting reform statement such as delocalization of management of schools, the cabinet secretary you invited to preside over the function of Form 1 selection, and you introduce aspects with the textbooks, I think you completely miss the mark. So I think that the heads have got very, very valid concerns, and I think if the ministry is not very careful in how it's handling these issues, they are likely to plunge the whole sector into serious chaos.
Interesting. I want us to now look at the specific issues that the head teachers have with the ministry, and we want to start from the most important one. As Kenyans, we've been waiting for this new curriculum to take effect, but just listening to some of the head teachers, even on the story that we just ran, you know, they're saying actually even we don't know what this thing is all about. We see, you know, iPads that were brought into the school, but they're still in boxes. Some of our schools do not even have electricity to use this this equipment. But also looking generally at everything, they don't have the information that they need and the training to actualize the new curriculum. Does that shock you?
It doesn't shock me. In fact, this comes as a vindication, because I've been asked by people in government, I've been asked by people in the civil society why some of us are too hard on the government. But I think now the jury is out because the people who matter most in the process, who are teachers, are now coming out and telling us that they hardly have any information as regard to this new curriculum. The level of preparedness is a little bit low. And as I've always argued, in any given process, what matters most are those people who do the operational work. It is not about the people at the top who are doing the conceptualization. So the new curriculum success is not hinged on how some of us are able to sit in set of art studios like this one to articulate what is very well known about it, but it's a question of how that teacher who teaches my daughter in 4-year in a kindergarten, who is able to articulate and really understand the nuances, the processes, the practices around the new curriculum. So unless this person has got very well packaged information in a way that this is an early adopter who has agreed with the changes in the mindset and the philosophical change in the new curriculum, then this is what I sat here with you during the national conference and told you that this is the making of the white elephant. So I think it should send serious shockwaves to the government. It should be reason enough for the government to get worried, but all is not lost, because everything is all about consultation and about talking. So if the ministry has got good intentions, it should really focus on what is the project at hand, because I think it's getting too much overwhelmed by a lot of unnecessary things, a lot of these other things, because if you fix the new curriculum, many of these issues we're talking about will just fall in place by themselves. But now rushing into telling us a lot of irrelevancies, how you need heads to have degrees for them to manage, how you need masters, how you need to move them on. I mean, all these things are completely irrelevant. They are off the mark. It is quite pedestrian to bring up some of these arguments when you have got a very, very serious and delicate project that we're just supposed to start executing coming in January.
Interesting. All right, so now moving forward, because I mean, January is just, a few days away. Are we likely to see the ministry take into consideration some of the concerns that, the head teachers have, brought to the fore, but also considering that the fact that, the Minister of Education has had, some liking, actually not some, quite a lot of liking from the public, because they seem to be really working round the clock. So how will the ministry be able to balance that, deliver the promise that they made to Kenyans about implementing this new curriculum, but also, being alive to the fact that the people who are supposed to be at the center of it all are not prepared?
Thanks, Betty. If you look at any history, you realize that building an empire takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of resources. But you can crumble the same empire within a short time. It's very easy. I mean, it's very difficult to build up a reputation that can easily be brought down. So I think the ministry should not get too excited into basking into that glory of the little successes that it has had, because this is the case of a lizard jumping from an iroko tree.
But is it really little, considering
it's absolutely little. It's very, very little, because what the ministry has only been able to achieve is streamlining management of examination. It's not even about the quality of the examination. It's not even about the quality of the grades that we are getting, because we still have got massive failures. As I've said, what the ministry should be focusing on is all about this new curriculum. And so it should forget about these little successes, basking into that glory, climb down from the ivory tower, come a little bit down and begin to understand what is it that matters. And if you really want to see this curriculum as a success, who do you need to talk to? Who do you need to convince? Who do you need to convert? And the most important person to convert is the head teacher. And not just the head teacher, it is that particular teacher. Because it's not about how the county directors of education are going to tell you, because unfortunately when many of us meet senior government officials, all that we do, we frisk out, and so we can hardly tell them the truth. So it's good that the media houses play those clips again for the cabinet secretary to see them. Well, that all is not well on the ground. The ground is not fertile enough for you to deliver this new curriculum. And this is now where it comes to the power of negotiation. And I've been looking at how Barack Obama was capable of navigating around the issue of the Obamacare. In fact, trading it in a Congress that was largely Republican dominated. And for you to be able to convince these people with volumes of books, for these people just to come out and support the Obamacare, it took a lot of effort. And what had it go to do? It had to go to a lot of intense negotiation. It's possible to push through a delicate project, particularly in education, if you are just sober enough, climb down and tell people that, yes, we understand all these concerns are there, because actually the ministry has got very, very good intentions. Because like one, we are not going to implement this phase curriculum throughout. We are actually saying that this system will mature by 2025. So what the ministry needs to do is to explain to us what will be happening between 2018 and 2025. It is to build confidence in the teachers to know that we are starting off with pre-primary, grades 1, 2, and 3 as we progressively move. And so we are going to have lots of lessons to learn from it. We are going to do a lot so that welcome on board. This is not the end. We are going to learn on this thing together. But if it just fails and all that people hear is that we will be implementing from January. Whatever comes, we will send you 6 textbooks. How do you send 6 textbooks? People even don't know how you're going to prepare those books. This is a sector that has got a lot of interest. You've got massive people who have a lot of interest, including publishers, including booksellers, including everyone. We just can't come up one day and have all these sweeping statements.
All right.
I mean.
All right, Kaburu, I want to hear your, in just 30 seconds, we have to wrap up.
Yeah.
If the ministry is able to streamline everything, the approval rating for the head teachers with regard to the new curriculum, is it enough to actually make this a success? Because they can work on the other hand, and then the teachers really do not have an approval rating, a high approval rating for this particular project.
It is not enough, and that's why you require a ministry that is very, very honest and willing to learn on the process. But if you take this attitude of we know everything, we are coming to prescribe, then definitely this is a failed project. So the ministry should just be humble enough to tell people that, hey guys, this is a consultative process. There is no magic involved. We are trying to look at what can we do to fix, and we are willing to learn, change in the process. That is what it calls for, what Paulo Freire calls a reflective practice. And if we have such an approach, this curriculum is the breakthrough for what Kenyans have been waiting for all along. So it's all about the project manager, if it's the CS or whatever team is put together, just to be humble enough and learn together and move with everybody on the process. Because the greatest challenge to a chain is not about its strong link. It's about the weakest link. So you have to identify the weak link, support so that everyone is on board. This bus is not about who goes fast. It's a question of making sure that at the end, we carried everybody along.
Everybody is carried along. Thank you very much, Amos Kaburu. Very important and critical insights he's given us. He's the Senior Programs Officer at Twaweza. Thank you for your time. Let's see what's going to happen.
We wish them well, and we'll always be there to support the ministry. Yes.
Interesting. All right, so we want to move on, and I want to go back to a story that I highlighted a few moments ago. And President Uhuru Kenyatta signed into law the County Allocation of Revenue Amendment Bill. The move by the President effectively gives the Treasury the green light to disburse at least 77.4 billion shillings to the 47 counties. This comes as a major relief to the county bosses who had, on a number of occasions, accused the Treasury of sabotage. Given the delay in the release of the funds, our Elvis Kasgei is in Eldoret and now speaks to the residents on what some of their priorities are, even as the money is released. Elvis, good afternoon. What have you been able to hear from the ground, from the people, and what they want to see after this money is disbursed?
Thank you very much, Betty. It's a major relief to residents of Uasin Gishu County because they even feel that President Uhuru Kenyatta should have amended the County Allocation Revenue Bill before the 8th August general election, because they feel some projects have stalled here in Uasin Gishu, including a good number of medical facility that has no drugs in this particular part of the county. They also think that the county bosses who have been involved in borrowing loans from the commercial banks and from any other particular places, it's a major boost to the counties, and they'll now want the county bosses to make sure they complete the project that they had initiated before. Na labda naweza kuzungumza na jamaa wa bodaboda tu uweze kutuambia hizi pesa bilioni 77.4 Rais Uhuru Kenyatta pale alifanya kwa sheria na sasa zitaweza kufika katika county. Nini kiweze kupatiwa kipaumbele?
Nadhani kenye inafaa ipewe kipaumbele ni kwamba infrastructure ikuwe ni kitu ya kwanza, mambo ya medical, mambo ya youth, kukumbuka youth kwa fund, at least kupea vijana vitu kama pesa, waanzishe projects, waleta vitu kama issue vitu kama mapikipiki kwa vijana wenye hawana kazi, at least so that vijana wapate kitu yenye wanafanya. Hizi mastima zenye haziko huku mashinani huko penye hakuna lights, watuwekea lights. Zile barabara za ndani zenye hakuingiliki kabisa, at least wajaribu ku upgrade, hata kama ni kumwaga mama kama wanaweza ikuwe lami, kwa sababu bila barabara kuingia kule ndani inakuwa ni shida. Hata kama mapikipiki za zingine unapo ride na barabara ni mbaya, ni matope, inakuwa ni shida sana kufika. Wengine wanaanguka, wengine wanaumia, so inakuwa ni challenge.
Asante sana. Wacha pia nizungumze na huyu jamaa, labda utuambie wanakuita nani na nini kingeweza kupatiwa kipaumbele.
Mimi kwa majina naitwa Ken. Kitu ya kwanza mimi nitaongea kama mwananchi, kwa sababu hizi pesa kulingana kwanza ile sekta ya matibabu. tuko relieved kwa sababu watu wengine hatuwezi umudu ile pesa ambayo tunaenda hospitali za binafsi, kwa sababu unaenda mahitaji ya binafsi inakuwa ni bei kali mno. Lakini sasa kama mimi mkaaji wa Eldoret, naambia gavana wetu hizi pesa waje wa invest heavily kwa matibabu, so that ile mwananchi ambaye ako achiwezei apate hii service kwa least kwa mikono yake ambayo yuko karibu na yeye penye yako.
Yeah. Mwisho kabisa acha nimalize nawe.
Okay, asante. Jambo la kwanza ni kupongeza serikali kuu kwa sababu ya kuachilia hizi pesa ili ziweze kukuja kufanyika hapa mashinani. Jambo la pili, tungeweza kushukuru kwa sababu magavana watapokea hizi pesa. Tungependa jambo la kwanza waweze kumaliza hizi migomo za madaktari. Madaktari kila saa wanagoma, wanasema magavana wametunyima hii. Jambo la kwanza wahakikishe hiyo imeisha ili hali ya matibabu iendelee kikamilifu. Jambo lingine, magavana wetu watambue ya kwamba wanabiashara wadogo tuko hapa. Kama watu wa pikipiki tuko na zile vikundi, yani cooperative society ambazo ziko active. Wakuja waingilie kati, waziboost, kwa sababu vijana sasa hivi wameacha ile ugoigoi wa kawaida, wanafanya kazi. Kwa hivyo kama vijana wameamua kufanya kazi, nayo serikali kubali kuwa boost, kuwainua ili waweze kujikimu kimaisha. Magavana wengine wamekuwa wakifanya kazi hata bila ya hizi pesa, kama gavana wa Uasin Gishu hapa tunampongeza. Sasa hizi pesa kama zimekuja, wacha ziwape motisha na kufanya kazi na zaidi. Asanteni.
Asante sana. Betty, you've heard from section of Uasin Gishu County residents, and they are lauding the president for assenting the county allocation revenue amendment bill, and now it's upon the county bosses to make sure they use the money to make sure the project that they had initiated before, they make sure they oversee up to its completion. Betty.
Right, Elvis Kosgei there reporting from Eldoret in Uasin Gishu County, speaking to residents there on what really their expectations are now that the monies will be released to the county, 77.4 billion shillings to be exact. All right, so we want to take a short commercial break, but we're coming back and we'll be revisiting some of the bigger stories that we've been focusing on since 1 p.m. here on News Desk. Don't go away, we'll be right back.